Thank you for being here today. We are so lucky to have this kind of commitment from the community and our elected officials. Ever since I saw the images of children in detention centers last year being ripped away from their parents, I could only think one thing. 10 years ago, that could have been me. 10 years ago, I was one of those children at the border, running away from gang violence and poverty in Honduras. Just like them, I crossed 3 countries and made it to the US border to be reunited with my mother. However, 10 years ago, I was not put in a detention center or separated from my mother. On the contrary, I was reunited with her and given all the opportunities that I did not have in Honduras. The greatest of those opportunities was attending Stanford Public Schools, where I learned English and found my passion for reading, languages, and politics. More recently, I had the opportunity to become the first person in my family to go to college. If I had been put in a detention center and separated from my mother, I would not have had all the opportunities I've had in the past 10 years. Or worse, I could have been sent back to Honduras. If the Trump administration stops family separation and puts children in places like Stanford Public Schools instead of detention center, then in 10 years, these children will share a story about compassion and not about the terror they've suffered. The terror that migrants face, however, does not stop at the border. It begins there. ICE and other government agencies terrorize migrant communities. Everyone is so scared of ICE raids that a few weeks ago there was a rumor that ICE was in Connecticut doing a raid on a Sunday, and almost everyone I knew was scared to leave their house. Many friends and relatives have even canceled vacation plans and feel forced to stay home because they are afraid of the hate that they hear all around. We are living in scary times. For migrants like myself and my family, this is an unprecedented moment. Hate and terror have permeated so many spaces in this country that the tragedy of El Paso is painfully unsurprising. In Stanford and in Connecticut, we can and must act to protect our spaces so that immigrants can feel safe in our schools, public spaces, and workplaces. I urge every one of you sitting at this table representing the city and our state leaders to share these stories that you will hear today with the people who you work with at the schools, at the police department, and at the government center. I ask you to make sure that you all connect with our local immigrant community and take action so that you all understand how the tragedy of El Paso has affected us here in Stanford, even though it's thousands of miles away. Today is an example of how we can unite to fight hate and create a welcoming community for immigrants. All of us here at B1C are sharing this special moment, and this is a great place to begin. And I'd like to make some remarks in Spanish. Gracias a todos por estar aquí y por su compromiso con defender los derechos de los inmigrantes. En los últimos años hemos visto cómo el odio y el terror han afectado a la comunidad inmigrante. De la misma manera, hemos visto la separación de familias en la frontera. Todos estos eventos culminaron hace una semana en un tiroteo trágico en El Paso. Hace 10 años yo fui uno de esos niños que llegaron a la frontera en búsqueda de una vida mejor. Pero yo no fui separado de mi familia o enviado a un centro de detención. Al contrario, fui bienvenido a Stanford, donde pude asistir a las escuelas públicas, aprender inglés y convertirme en la primera persona en mi familia en ir a la universidad. En vez de proveer las mismas oportunidades a otros inmigrantes, el gobierno está aterrorizando a las comunidades inmigrantes a través de ICE y otras agencias gubernamentales. No debemos permitir que el odio y el terror dominen nuestra comunidad. Aquí en Stanford debemos asegurarnos de que nuestros espacios como las escuelas y los lugares de trabajo sean seguros para los inmigrantes. Hoy es solamente el comienzo de una lucha contra el odio y el terror. Sí se puede. Gracias. Thank you.